I see buyers losing more money negotiating on an asking price than they do doing anything else. And the worst part about it all, they don't even realize that it's happening. They don't even realize they're losing money. Just pay asking price. It's way cheaper. So buyers think winning means saving money on the price of the business, chasing discounts. They think patience is a good idea, waiting until they buy it at the right price, at the right time. But they're measuring completely the wrong metric. And by doing that, it's costing them more money. So I've been a business broker for, 20 odd years. And the single biggest cost, the single biggest way buyers lose money is not by overpaying, not by paying for the asking price. The cost is in the lost earnings. The cost is in the time it takes for them to own the business. Because while they don't own a business, they're not earning any money. So in a moment, I'll tell you how much money one buyer actually lost by asking for a discount and waiting. And it's a whole lot more than the discount that he wanted. He actually lost hundreds of $1,000s by asking for a discount. So let's talk about John. John was a business buyer and I dealt with him for a while. And he tried to find a business that ticked all his boxes. Now, I finally showed him one. He said it was the perfect business for him. Now, he had his own formula, his own way of working out value, and he did his sums. Business was for sale for $995,000. He decided it was worth $850, no more. So he made an offer for $850. The seller looked at it and said, no, I'm not taking that. That looks fine. I'll come down to $925. Now, John thought, okay, I'll come up a bit, he said, but I'm not paying more than $875. The seller said, well, $925 you own it, at $875 you're not our buyer. So what happened was John walked away, he said he'd find something else. That's fine, that happens. Now, I'd sold the business a couple of months later and I actually sold it for $950, so the seller did 25 grand better. He was happy. So John rang me 6 weeks later and he said, is that business still for sale? He said, I've been having a look around. I can't find anything that I like as well as that. I'm happy to go and pay $925 for it now. And I said, look, I'm sorry, but I sold it for $950. Now, he was a little disappointed, but he understood it wasn't going to hang around forever. So he kept looking. Now, I eventually sold him a business 12 months after he looked at that first business. He bought a business, he bought it through me, and he was quite happy. Now, some months after that, I had lunch with John, and John said to me, look, his biggest regret, his biggest mistake was not buying the first business he looked at a year earlier and paying that extra money. We were talking about $50K apart and he wouldn't part with it. And as he said to me, he said, I was struggling. He said, I couldn't see value. I didn't want to pay $50K more and I didn't buy the business. So in saving $50K on the purchase price, I lost $400,000 in that year because that's what the business was making, $400K. Now, John took effectively a year to find a business. So in that year, he didn't earn anything. So that was $400K he lost because he didn't want to pay 50 grand more. And he couldn't figure it out. He did not think that was a good idea. So while John waited and John decided and John negotiated, someone else bought the business and earned all that money that should have been John's. So the real question buyers should ask is not how much can I get this cheaper and how much discount can I get. The real question is how fast can I buy this business and get the profit it's making to pay back my initial investment. That's the real question you should be asking. The faster you get into the business, the quicker the business will pay you back. The faster the earnings come back into your pocket, and that's the real question you should be asking. It's not about price, it's not about discounts, it's about taking the profits that business is generating and putting them in your pocket. So time to settlement is the hidden costs. That's where you lose the money. So when you're negotiating to buy a business, ask the seller for a quick settlement. Get in there fast. Don't take 6 weeks to do due diligence and then settle another 6 weeks later. Compress that time as quick as you can. If the business is making $400K a year, that's what? 30 odd grand a month. So if you can shave 4 weeks off that uncertainty time, that's 4 weeks of profit that's in your pocket. That's 40 grand that you've made quicker, and it's worth paying a little more to make that extra money faster. So you might like to read my latest book, How to Sell Your Business, Maximum Value, Minimum Stress. It's got all the tips and tricks, all the inside information, all the cunning plans that brokers use to sell a business. Have a look at it, link in the description down below. Back to the video. The expensive mistakes that most buyers complain about aren't overpaying for a business. They're not even paying asking price or not getting a discount. They're the mistake they made by not getting the profit quickly, by not owning that business in a timely way and pocketing those profits. So stop trying to buy the perfect business at the cheapest price. Sure, buy the perfect business, but pay a fair price, pay asking price, but do it fast, get in quick and pocket those profits. If you want to know how a seller can help you finance the business that you're going to buy, have a look at that video up there. I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.